Greetings. In today's episode of Kip's Corner, we've got something a little special and a little different. Recently, my youngest daughter, she's just a little over 2 years old, expressed interest in lightsabers. So, of course, I thought it would be appropriate to set about building her first ceremonial Youngling hilt. And this is the build video for Ahsoka's Youngling hilt. I picked up this basic baselit combat grade lightsaber from my apprentice Vale, and while the electronics aren't the best, it does feature in-hilt recharge, and the LED can be changed out for Ahsoka's color. And the speaker isn't the loudest, but it's perfectly serviceable for a beginner hilt. And here I've got the basic beginning parts laid out for the modifications, including her first set of crystals, the celestite for the cyan blue of her blade and the tanzanite for her birthstone, and then a moonstone and an amethyst off of my first ceremonial lightsaber. And here we have the electronics finished, just waiting on the E6000 to dry. I've also changed out the LED module for the cyan blue, and I've encapsulated on the soundboard her celestite and tanzanite and encapsulated them so that they don't fall off with impacts to the hilt. Still a work in progress, but moonstone where the glass eye would be on a Graflex. And then the other side so far. For the next part, I made a brass collar for the moonstone so it would both look nicer and stay in place better. And then I laid out the copper to cut her emitter shroud out of. I used a section of the same antique oxyacetylene torch handle that I used for the fluted section on the neck of my hilt, both to recess the activator switch and to add to the touches of similarity between the designs of my hilt and hers. After that, I didn't really like how the pommel was open on the base hilt that I'm using for hers, so I took one of the mixture knobs off of that same antique oxyacetylene torch handle and carved it down by hand with a Dremel, and then drilled speaker holes for it and mounted the triangle screw on it for a finishing touch. And then I added some brass leaves and then the same brass rivets I used on my pommel, but I left hers rounded to add a touch of femininity to her hilt. And then here's a few views with it mostly complete, with the pommel cubes and the leaves and the rivets, the CoverTech wheel in place, the fluted section over her activator switch, the brass eye around the moonstone, the emitter shroud blank set in place, and the amethyst from my first hilt, and then comparing it with my hilt for the similarities in design while still remaining unique to her. And then I laid out the design for the Ahsoka signet and carved it out with a Dremel before filling it with enamel and polishing it out. And as you saw in the test fire earlier, I left the moonstone shine through on hers, and I also got a 7/8 inch blade plug online and polished it out a bit, and the recess for the activator switch works really well, and nothing interfered with the in-hilt charge socket, and it's just really shaping up to be a nice little youngling hilt that I know Ahsoka's just gonna love. And there's the shine through on both the blade plug and the moonstone. And while the speaker isn't the loudest, it's still plenty loud enough for Ahsoka. And for the final touches, I came across a pair of Herkimer Diamond quartz crystals that had matching carbon inclusions and just looked really well together, and one's slightly smaller, which is obviously going to be Ahsoka's. But I thought it'd be nice to have one more thing in common between the hilts. And I set mine inside my pommel cap with E6000. And I picked these two particular crystals out by feel. I held one in each hand until I found a pair that felt similar enough to each other that they would be considered matching. And I didn't notice until later when I was looking at them zoomed in on the camera. But Ahsoka's crystal has a little sister attached to it, which is fitting because Ahsoka's about to have a little sister. But since Ahsoka's been showing more curiosity about these things, I thought it would be the perfect time to see if she wanted to help set and align her final crystal in her own ceremonial hilt and help finish putting it together.
See your crystal? You can pick it up. Hold it in your hand for a minute. Close your hand. Like this. For a minute. Alright, now you take it and put it right in here. Oh, try again. Good job. Now, take this, hold this. There. Yay! Yay! Keep going. Do it again. Good job. Put it real tight. Alright, now you can hit the button. Isn't that cool?
And so there you have it. Ahsoka herself helped finish putting together her lightsaber hilt, including that moment of putting her essence into that crystal and then helping set and align the crystal and finish putting her ceremonial Youngling hilt together. It's not just a proud dad moment. That is a proud Jedi moment. Passing on the traditions to the next generation. Until next time, this is Master Kip signing off. And may the Force be with you always.